So the Order of St. Luke has published an amazing book called For All the Saints. For all the saints. So I've already read this book from cover to cover. And what I love, it is a calendar of saints. So during the year, on days, there are saints that are celebrated on those certain days of the year. And so I was enjoying reading the book because I'm just coming along and, I knew that saint and I knew that saint and I knew that saint and I knew that saint. And then I came to a saint and I'm like, what? The Anglicans have saints? What? The Lutherans have saints? What? There are even Methodist saints? It just blew my mind. Because, I grew up with a very set understanding of who were the saints. They had to go through a special canonization process, and those were the saints that we could pray to intercede on our behalf. So I just had my eyes just totally opened. You mean there's more saints than just those that have gone through the approval process? What I love is in the introduction of the book, on page 3 and then 4, what academic ethicists are rediscovering, of course, is something we have known all along, that we are less influenced by abstract arguments than by the moral examples of other people, our mothers and fathers, our friends and neighbors, our oppressors and mentors, whether famous, like St. Francis, or known only to us, like a favorite aunt or godparent. Saints change us simply by existing. Saints change us simply by existing. So we look over here at who has existed in our lives. Mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, godparents, spouses. Are there any saints? Are there any saints? One of my favorite saints, now that my mind has been opened to the possibility, is somebody who touched my life in a very unexpected and surprising way. When I got a call to go and do communion and anointing at Touchmark, and I had the honor of meeting Gracie Strom. Gracie Strom, who owned the Sea Hag Food and Grog in Depot Bay, a place that I'd eaten at. A place that I had eaten at. Gracie Strom, somebody who was so remarkable, they've even written a book about her. And so after I met her, I read the book, and I'm like, whoa, here is an amazing woman. All right, maybe amazing in some strange ways that we may not consider to put on their application to sainthood. I don't know how many saints ride motorcycles. And her great talent, yes, you can put Gracie Strom into the search engine of YouTube, and she will pop up because she was famous for playing the liquor bottles in the bar. That was her gift. You see her there? She's got those little baton kind of things. And you know how the booze bottles have different levels of booze depending on what is the booze of the time? You can go to YouTube and watch Gracie playing the bottles. I was so honored to have been introduced to her. And then when she passed away, I was even honored, even greater, to do her memorial service. And then I heard the real stories. Yeah, there was the stories in the book. Yeah, there was the stories that she shared with me. But the real stories, the people who stood up and gave witness and testimony about how she made a difference in their lives, what she did for the community, what she was known for. St. Gracie Strom, what do you think? But I love in today's reflection and Give Us This Day. Today we honor not only the canonized, but all saints, those whose names are known to history, and the hidden saints the world never knew. Your beloved grandmother, the radiant woman who sat behind you at Mass, the faithful priest who baptized you and buried your parents, the physician who died of COVID. There is a great company of saints. You see, the reason I was called to touch Mark is Gracie was a very strong woman of faith. Her Catholic faith was so important to her. She was a woman of faith. So I'm so honored to have gotten to know a new saint in my collection of saints. I'd like to personally thank her daughter, Nancy Bruce, who lives around here in Bend. So if any of you know Nancy or bump into Nancy anywhere, say, you know that silly guy went and preached about your mother on All Saints Day. That's Nancy in that picture in the center. She's the one off to the left. And Nancy, if you're watching live stream, hey, shout out to you for introducing me to your mother. Who are the saints in your life? A mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a friend? Who are the saints in your life? Because we hear in the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 9, I had a vision of a great multitude, which no one could count, from every nation, race, people, and tongue. They stood before the throne and before the Lamb, wearing white robes and holding palm branches in their hands. I hope you're ready for heaven. Because I think we're going to be awfully surprised about some of the people we bump into up there. That's why I strive so hard to live a welcoming demeanor. I'd much rather start becoming welcoming now, because I know someday I'm going to have to spend eternity with some of those people. And I'd much rather see them as saints. As saints. As the book makes very clear, the saints expand our understanding. I mean, we're doing the Chosen preaching series right now. Come on. Some of those apostles, saintly? I'm not too sure just yet. And yet, who are those in heaven? The poor in spirit. They who mourn, the meek, they who hunger, the merciful, the clean of heart, the peacemakers, the persecuted. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven. Those are the saints. Those are the ones. And so the book continues for all the saints to live in there, which is the saints. To live in the saints' presence is to open a space in our faith for the creative and unpredictable side of God's dealings with us. The creative and unpredictable side of God's dealing with us. So, got any saints out there? Yeah, come on. No, don't say you. Do you think so? No, got any saints out there? You betcha. Live it. Celebrate it. You don't know whose lives you're touching. You don't know whose faith you're helping just by being who you are. Think about it. You can help a person in their faith just by banging on booze bottles in a bar.